See what it looks like. Oh wow, yeah, that's dead on. So that's perfect. Let's take a taste of it and see what it tastes like. Yeah, that's good. What's up, guys? This is Kevin. We're not in RV today, as you can see. We're in our kitchen, so we're taking a short little break from RVing, and you still got to cook, right? So we going to do a rack of pork today. We got the Swift rack of pork we got at Costco. It's a 8-pound, costs $27. Perfect cut of meat to do. It's easy to cook. Got a lot of great marbling in it. It's got 8 bones, so you'll be able to do a 8 chops if you wanted to. And with it being a bigger, thicker cut of meat like this, you know, you can make sure that, you know, somewhere on the end it might be a little more done that somebody wants on the outside. You know, the only thing you want to worry about when you're cooking any type of pork is that you don't overcook it. So we'll walk you through the process of once we put it on the smoker and what temperature we're looking for it to come to. We're going to make a compound butter to go in it. So we got the 2 sticks of unsalted Kerrygold butter. You want to use real butter. We really like Kerrygold. You can see this butter, how dark it is. And the fat that's in there is just going to help to add to the flavor that's going to go with this pork as well. To make the compound butter, we're simply going to use 2 tablespoons of this Italian herb seasoning. It's dry, made by Morton's. You can use fresh if you want. Doesn't really matter. But with the amount of butter the amount of fat that's in this butter, it's going to really concentrate and really make the herbs come alive. We're also going to add 2 tablespoons of our smoky and bold. The smoky and bold is going to give, it's got a lot of our paprika. It's going to give some of the color that we're looking for and a little more pepper. The last thing we're going to put on is just a light little dusting. We're not going to add this to the compound butter. We're just going to put this over to the top. It's a prime rib made by Rodella. I get this actually at Costco. This stuff is great. And don't worry if it says prime, steak, pork, chicken, whatever. Look to see what herbs are in there, what seasonings are in there. It might go great with pork, chicken, or whatever. So we actually put this on chicken as well. So we'll just put a little light dusting on that. That's going to give me a little bit more of that pepper and a little more of that salt. It's got the big crystal sauce that we're looking for. So first thing we'll do is going to get this out of this package, and then we're going to French these bones to give it a little bit better look. And then we're also going to make this compound butter, and we'll walk you through that. All right, to make this compound butter is pretty simple. One thing I do want to recommend, make sure that this butter is super soft. So you don't want to have it as liquid butter, but you want it really, really soft. You can see how soft this is. If it's too hard, just put it in the microwave on a low temperature, kind of, you know, watch it for a few seconds until it gets softened. Simply take your herbs, dump them into the butter, and just mix it all together. And with these dry seasonings, you're going to really see them start to come alive, and they get a little bit softer, gives you a little more texture. So it's almost like you're rehydrating them with the oil that's in there. We'll take our smoky and bold, put that in there as well. Again, mix it all up. So you want to get it mixed really, really good. And we'll just keep mixing this until we get it to the consistency that we want. And, you know, there's easy making compound butters. You can make compound butter for anything. You make compound butter with jellies and stuff like that to put on your toast, or, you know, whatever you're looking for. So you can see we're getting a good mix on it. And we're going to let this actually set for a little while too. Probably 30 minutes. Kind of let it reconstitute a little bit. But you can see it's got great color to that compound butter. This is what we're going to put on that rack of pork. Okay, we got that this rack of pork out of the cryovac, and boy, it's a good cut of meat. You never know until you get into it, but this looks like this is going to be some good eating. So the cap right here looks like the Swift has taken most of the silver skin off. So if you see any silver skin, you want to get that. So I'm going to leave quite a bit of this this fat that's on here. You know, I might trim a little bit of it off. You know, some of this right in here looks a little bit thicker. So, you know, you just kind of trim it to what you think is really needed. And but you know, pork, you know, is a leaner cut of meat, so you want to try to leave as much fat on there as possible. One thing you want to do is take these bones right here, and we're going to French them up a little bit and see if we can make them look a little bit better. So we're going to do this here for a few seconds, and then we'll come back and see what it looks like. Okay, guys, we got this rack of pork. We got it, took the bones, Frenched them, and simply all you do is you take your paring knife and scrape down, cut along here. This is simply for appearance. It doesn't do anything for us cook the flavor, make it cook any faster or better. Then we took these some aluminum foil, and you simply take the foil, wrap it around, squeeze it real tight. And so we'll do, we wrap all these bones, and then about halfway through the cooking process, I'll unwrap them. What that'll do is allow the bones not to brown. So we don't want them getting too dark, too black like you see on some pictures. So, you know, just simply for appearance. It doesn't do anything for us cook it faster, make better flavor. It's just for appearances. But, you know, you do eat with your eyes. So, you know, I always like to try to do what I can to make it look good as well. So, so we got them all done. One thing you want to remember, too, is on the back of the pork, there's a silver skin, just like on a rack of ribs. So you want to pull that off. You can see this has got great marbling in it. Going to be you see all the marbling in there. It's a Swift, so it's a good cut of pork. So we're going to now put it on a pan. And the reason why I put it on the pan is that I want to catch the drippings. The drippings we can make gravy with if there's enough, or we can also continue to baste with the with it as we go and we cook. So that compound butter that we made earlier, best thing to do is get your pair of gloves and just get in there and rub it all down. You want to cover every bit of this as you can. This is what's going to give it a little bit of outside color, crust. We're going to get it all the way down here by these bones as well. And this is that compound butter we made with all those different seasonings. And this is just going to add to the flavor as well. And this butter that we're using is going to also help it baste a little bit. It's going to make some of the caramelization that we're looking for, some of the dark brown that we're looking for. So we'll continue to get it all together, and then we'll come back here in a minute and show you. Okay, we got it all seasoned up with that compound butter. Got it all over on both sides, front and back. Got it sitting on a rack so we can catch the seasoning. Last thing we want to do is that when I talked about that prime rib, that you can use on anything that's got the little heavier crystal salt. So we're just going to sprinkle a little bit on here, kind of get to the point where, you know, you just see it just covering just a little bit, not much. Those bigger salt crystals will actually dissolve when it hits with the butter. And this pork really goes good with that salt. So it's that big crystal salt. So we're going to let it set for a good hour now. So we want this thing to come to room temperature. It's okay to do that, especially with big cuts of meat. You want that internal temperature to come up a little bit so that when you go cook it, it'll cook more evenly. So let's let it set for about an hour, then we'll get it on the smoker. Thanks. Okay, we got the Gatorpit running, got the smoker running, got the fires about where we want it to be. It's about 200 degrees. We will bump it up a little bit, get it about 225. We're cooking with oak and pecan, a little mixture. Kind of what we got on hand. So we're going to take the pork, and with it still on this rack, we're going to simply slip it right in there. And so we're going to let this run for a couple hours, and then we'll turn around and probably flip it around a little bit, take a look at it, then kind of play it by ear. It's probably going to take about 4.5 hours. So we want to get to 145 degrees internal temperature. So we'll just kind of keep an eye on it, see if we need to buck the temperature up or down. Pretty easy on this Gatorpit, so we'll see how it's going. Okay, guys, one last thing we're going to do for this rack of pork is going to make a peach glaze. Just a little something extra to go on it, give it a little bit of sweetness to go with all the spice that's on the rub itself. Peach and pork go together like peas and carrots. So if you never tried any type of peach with pork, you should really try it. What I've got is some Blackburn's peach preserves. This actually comes out of Jefferson, Texas. So it's Go Texan, which is really good. Then a little bit of the Kerr's Peach Nectar. So all you need to do is take some of this peach nectar. There's no right or wrong in it. Just put some in there. So you got about that much. You want to take a little bit of this peach nectar and pour it in there just so you can get it to, it's a little bit of a smoother, runnier consistency. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn around and put this in the microwave and heat it up a little bit so it'll spread a little bit easier. You can see it's already pretty good. So I don't know if I even heat it that much. Smells wonderful. This is going to be really good. It's going to put a nice little glaze on top of that pork, rack of pork. So anyway, I just want to share that with you as well. Thank you. Okay, guys, we're out here about that pork's been on, just almost exactly 2 hours. So let's take a look at it. Let's probe it, see what the temperature is, see what we're trying to get to. Gatorpit's running about 225, 250. So perfect where we want it to be. Oh yeah, it looks really good. Get a close up of it, Rita. So it's that, you can see where that butter's starting to give it that nice golden brown we're looking for. So let's probe it and see what the temp's coming up. We're gonna go right in the middle of it. So we're running about 124, 125, perfect. So we're shooting for about 145. You can see the juice is already starting to come out clear, so that means it's getting close to being done. So now's a good time to put just a little bit of this glaze on here. So we're just going to dab it on there, kind of let it just drip all over. It's going to caramelize. Again, just add another complex flavor to this pork. So like I was saying earlier, peach and pork go together perfectly. So let me get this seasoned up and get this smoker back on there. We'll come back and see how it's looking when it's done. Thanks. Okay, guys, we got this rack of pork off the smoker, off the Gatorpit smoker. Looks wonderful. Smells even better. So you can see the caramelization that happened. The butter helped really give it that nice color, helped keep it from drying out. Let's probe it and see what temperature we're at. We're looking for about 145. Perfect. We're at 142. So it's going to continue to rise a little bit as we let it rest. You can see by how I wrap these bones right here that it helped those from turning really black. Got great color on it. The smell's wonderful. It's at the perfect doneness. So now we're just going to let it rest for about, probably about 30 to 45 minutes. Especially with pork, you don't want to cut it too soon. If you cut it too soon, all the juice is going to run out. So we just simply take a sheet of aluminum foil and loosely put it around it like that. And we'll let it rest and we'll come back, slice it open, and see what it looks like. Okay, guys, we let this pork rest about 30 minutes and we'll cut you out a piece. We already had to cut out a piece for our neighbors. They were chomping at the bit to get it. So we had to cut it and weren't able to film it. So wanted to show a little bit about it. You can see right here where we wrapped the bones. It helped them from becoming too black, too dark. But if you notice, you got nice caramelization, nice color from the butter, from the peach glaze. Everything looks wonderful. Let's cut into it and see what it looks like. Oh wow, yeah, that's dead on. So that's perfect. Let's take a taste of it and see what it tastes like. Yeah, that's good. So a little bit of smoke, got a little bit of salt, a little sweetness from the glaze. Perfect. I mean, that's a great cut of meat. Let's recap a little bit. You know, we did a compound butter with over the top of it, let set for about an hour. Put it on the smoker. We smoked it for 4 hours. After 4 hours, we pulled it off. Let it sit there and rest for a little bit, about 30 minutes or so. Good to go.